In the next 5 minutes, you are going to be an expert in the rest and spread operators. So let's get started. The syntax of the spread operator and the rest parameters are pretty much the same. It is dot dot dot, that is 3 dots, followed by the name of our variable. So let us look at this with the help of an example. Consider I want an function, say total, that will calculate the total of all the arguments that are passed to it. Now, in this case, I am not pretty much sure how many arguments will be passed to my total. So, one way of dealing with this is I can use something called as arguments. But if you know that arguments are not used or but if you know that arguments are not valid in ES6, that is, you cannot use arguments with fat arrow functions. So, an alternative to arguments is something called as the spread operators. I try to call this total function by passing few arguments to it. And now, if I want to accept these arguments in my total, I would write something like dot 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 and n anything, say n. So n, if I console log n, you can see that n is an array which contains all the arguments that I have passed to my total function. So all these arguments are received into total in an array format. So what does spread operator do is that it spreads all the arguments into an array format. Another thing that I need to deal here is that, say I want to check whether the first argument that has been passed is, say, an even or an odd number. So I can extract that first argument by doing something like this also. But a cleaner way of doing that is if I write first argument. So the first argument that has been passed would be available in my total function as first arg, and I will accept the rest of the parameters by writing something like dot 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 n. Now, if you heard me, I said we will be accepting the rest of the arguments as dot 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 n. So the rest, the arguments or rest of the parameters is this, which is our rest parameters. So as I said, the syntax of the spread and rest is pretty much the same. If I console log both the first argument and n, you can see that first argument is 1 and the rest of the parameters are 2, 3 and 4, which are also present in an array format. Now, since the spread operator is an operator, we can use it as an operator at many other instances as well. Consider I have an array, say array 1, which contains few values, and I have another array, say array 2, var arr2, and it contains few values as well. Now, what if I want the values of ARR1 in ARR2? What I'll do is I'll simply spread the array 1 into array 2. And as we know the syntax of the spread operator, we will write dot 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 ARR1 into array 2. And if I'll just console log my ARR2, I'll just comment out this console. Okay. Now our array 2 has the spreaded values of array 1 and also has its own values that is added to. Okay, we can use this spread operator in not just arrays or functions, we can use them with objects as well. So if I write something like obj1 equal to a1 b2 and I have another object obj2. Similarly, if I want the values of obj1 into obj2, I'll simply spread my object 1 into object 2. For spreading, I'll write 3 dots obj1, comma, the values present in my object 2, which would be, say, C is 3, D is 4. And if I'll just console log my object 2, console.log obj2, here we have the values of the object 1 and the values of the object 2. So I assume that the spread operators and the rest parameters are pretty much clear. The only thing that we need to remember while using the spread operator is that spread operator simply spreads the elements, and the rest operator, as we have seen in our example, is used for accepting the rest parameters. So if you had learned anything from this video, do not forget to hit the like button and also to subscribe to my channel. Thank you and see you in another video.